Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Today I'm coming to you to answer anything. So I asked all of my social media followers if they had any questions for me. I wanted to kind of round up 2018 and then talk to you a little bit about what I'm planning in 2019. And I thought the best way to do that would be with a bit of a Q&A where you could ask me about my year and just generally anything you wanted to know about me. So I'm going to start with a question from the lovely Lorianne. She asked me, has your son or daughter shown any interest in sewing? Well, I shall start with my son. No, absolutely not. He does not have a creative bone in his body. However, my daughter has shown an interest in sewing. She's asked on numerous occasions if she can make a quilt or a blanket or something for her dolls. She's also very, very keen on me making some clothes for her dolls, and I'm sure if she was given the opportunity, she would be quite happy to do so herself too. She has taken a couple of classes here in the studio. She did one about 2 years ago. She made some bunting, and then she did one about a year ago and made a little elasticated skirt, and she did enjoy it, but because of her age then, so she was 5 and 6, I think I found that I wanted to be too hands-on with her and didn't necessarily feel comfortable just letting her get on with it with the sewing machine. So I think that's kind of the helicopter mother in me. Not that I'm like that normally, but I was kind of like, it's my machines and you're in my studio and I've got paying customers here and it's all a bit blah, and I've been too frightened to just do it at home on my own with her. It's strange, but anyway, tomorrow she's actually going to be taking a class here again at the studio. She's going to do bunting again, so 2 years later this time. She's now 7.5. She's actually very sensible, and I'm actually going to try and walk away from the situation. The class is being taught by Madison, one of my teachers, and I think if I actually just step away from it and let her get on with it, Maddie's got an amazing amount of patience. I think, touch wood, she's going to be absolutely fine and she'll sew the bunting by herself with a little bit of help and guidance. So we shall see. I'll keep you posted. But I'm certainly very keen to encourage her creativity, and when she's ready and she wants to learn to knit or crochet or anything like that, I will obviously help her. At the moment, she's loving drawing and painting, and she will sit for hours and create really, really lovely things. She's done some really super pictures actually for members of our family for Christmas. So I'll be able to show you those once they've been gifted. Right, let's pull up my phone and find all of the answers to your questions. Answers to your questions? No, they're up here. I'll find your questions. So there's a few things about 2019 there. I'm going to go back to those. So Tracy asks, where does your inspiration come from? Tracy, all over the place, absolutely everywhere. I spend a lot of time watching people's YouTube tutorials, watching videos like these. I follow a few other sewing vloggers, a few other crochet vloggers, not too many because otherwise I'd just be on YouTube all the time. But also really social media has a huge influence. Facebook and Instagram in particular. There is so many beautiful things that people have made, and there's just constantly lovely pictures of colourful stuff, and I see things and sometimes I think that's nice, but I do it differently. And I like to say that most of the things that I teach are either projects that I've come up with myself or projects that have been inspired by something that I've seen elsewhere. I very rarely do a direct copy. That being said, if there is a superb pattern out there and I actually cannot make it any better, I will always ask the people who designed it if they're happy with me teaching their class or teaching their item or pattern as a class. And if they are, then, you know, full credit to them, I will do that. So yeah, inspiration all over the place, but probably Instagram and YouTube mostly. Jackie says, what and where do you search when looking for a new knitting or crochet project to do? Again, I don't really search, to be honest. I've got a massive list of things that I want to make, and I've got yarn for a lot of them. When I go to yarn shows, I tend to only buy yarn if I've got something in mind for it, although in the last 2 yarn shows I've been to, I haven't followed that rule at all. So I tend to know what I want to make, and a yarn will normally tell me what it wants to be, rather than going out and looking for a yarn for a particular project, if that makes sense. I'll pick up a lovely skein of something and think, you'd make a good hat, or you'd make a good shawl, and then I will go and search for a pattern that I think would work. I go with word of mouth more than anything. I've got obviously lots of friends in my Facebook group and online community that I can tap into and sort of say, what would you suggest? What have you made? I like to know that a pattern is going to work. I'm always a bit wary of just going straight to Ravelry, finding something that looks nice in pictures and buying the pattern, and finding that actually it's a bit of rubbish pattern and is really hard to follow or doesn't fit nicely. So I would far rather go with word of mouth over anything. So Sherry says, are you going to go back to making your podcasts about your knitting? I miss them. Sherry, they've never stopped. In fact, I'll link one up here. This is the latest one. This was about a month ago. They never stopped, but they did slow down because I don't have an awful lot of time to knit and crochet. So they kind of were being spaced out by a couple of months because I wanted to actually come on and actually show you things. I didn't really see the point in sitting there and saying, I'm still working on this, I'm still working on this, and I'm still working on this, because that's all you would have seen if I'd done a weekly or fortnightly podcast. But by doing it every 6 to 8 weeks, I was able to say, I've finished this, I've finished this, and I've finished this. I've bought yarn for this, this, and this, and now I've started working on this, this, and this. However, I have plans for my podcast and my knitting and crochet. I'm going to film another knitting and crochet podcast later on this week and get it uploaded. And when I do, I will inform you as to my plans for the podcast moving forward into 2019. But let's say it's going to be very different, something that no one else does, that I'm aware of, and you're going to enjoy it. Elspeth said, what excited you most about your work last year? And Sarah has said, how was 2018 for Beautiful Things compared to how you thought it would be at the end of last year? So I'm going to kind of put those two together. What excited me most about my work this year was really how much the business has evolved and developed. We've got 2 units now, which is fantastic. So the actual studio has been really busy. Word of mouth is getting out there, which is great. We've taken on new tutors to come and work for us, and we've put on a whole load of new classes this year that wouldn't have been possible without them, so that's fantastic. I think the most exciting thing for me though this year has been launching the So Beautiful Things online sewing club. It's meant that I can reach out to those of you who are further afield and can't get in here to the studio. And it's lovely, and there are 70 people in that group at the moment, all making beautiful things, and that just fills my heart with so much pride and happiness. The feedback that I'm getting is great. People are loving the courses, and it's so nice seeing pictures pop up in the Facebook group when people have made something that I've designed and seeing how happy they are with their finished results. So yes, that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of this year and most excited about, and I'm really looking forward to April when I open the doors again for the second cohort to come and join and to see what we've got planned for the 2019 April cohort, because that's really, really exciting. I know what you're going to be learning, but only me and nobody else. So going back to Sarah's question, how was 2018 for Beautiful Things compared to how you thought it would be? I never thought that I would have an online community as good as I have. At this point, I have gone from about 2,000 subscribers on my YouTube to about nearly 4,500 in just 6 months, and I've built my Facebook group. My free Facebook group had just over 100 people in it 6 months ago, and it's now nearly 800. So yeah, the community that I'm building online, I'm loving, and to be able to do that alongside having such a thriving community here in the studio is also really cool. So Jackie says, where do you see yourself in 5 years time? And then she puts quality standard interview question. Jackie, in 5 years time, this studio, I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen. This studio is going to be fully booked every day of the week, both studios. It's going to have just a fantastic community. There's going to be waiting lists as long as my arm for people that want to come here and learn. And it's going to be a really fantastic hub of creativity. Online, I'm not going to put a figure on it because it's in my head and I don't want to put it in public, but online my audience numbers are going to be a lot bigger. I'm going to have a sewing membership, and I will also have a crochet membership. And then I don't know, I've got lots of things I want to do, but I don't really want to put them out there yet, because either they might not happen, or it sounds terrible, but I want to be the person to launch them, and I don't want someone else to go, that's a really good idea, and try and do it too. So needless to say, in 5 years time, this business will be bigger, better, stronger, and I will be loving it just as much as I do now, if not more, and I might get a couple more holidays in. So Sarah then says, what exciting business plans do you have for 2019? So again, I'll just rewind that last bit. Not telling you right now. Maddie says, what's new to the class list? What's new to the class list? There's lots of new sewing classes on. There's lots of new crochet classes on. There's lots of new knitting classes on. The best way for you to see that is to just pop over to my website. I'll pop the link down below. Go and visit the classes section and have a sniff around. It's all segmented into crochet, knitting, sewing, dressmaking, general crafts, so you can go and have a look. You can go and see what's available. If there's something that you want to do and the dates and the times don't work for you, that's absolutely okay. Give me a buzz and we'll sort something out. We'll make it work for you. We will be adding a lot more online courses in 2019 as well, for those of you who can't get to us here in the studio or who are abroad. And I have already said this on Instagram, so I'm happy to say it here. We will be doing some online courses for project bag making in 2019. I'm going to be doing some individual ones. I did say I might do it as a bit of a membership thing, but people have all said they would be much happier to just pick and choose which bags they wanted to make and pay for them as one-off classes. So I will be doing some project bag classes. They'll be online, sewing classes with me. There will be support available via a Facebook group should you need it. And yeah, that will be a perfect thing for anyone who is a massive crocheter or knitter or yarny person. And also there will be a cottage industry license available if any of you are yarn dyers or sell things online in shops, etc., and want to be able to make my patterns and sell them. So they will all be patterns that I've developed. Yes, there will be similarities to things that are already on the market, don't get me wrong. It's impossible to come up with something that is 100% unique, but I will be making all my own patterns and designing them all myself, recording the courses myself and uploading them all to the internet for you. So exciting times for 2019. We also have, for those of you who are knitty, crochet people or do crafts that you can do on your lap, we will also be opening our Knit and Natter Lounge. In fact, I think it's probably just going to be called the Beautiful Things Lounge rather than a Knit and Natter Lounge, because you can come and do anything that's on your lap. And that will be opening mid-January. I've got an area of the studio that I've dedicated for that, and I will be doing a separate vlog on how that is created. So you'll be able to see the progress as we create that. And again, if you want to follow that progress, then you're going to want to look on my social media channels, either Facebook or Instagram. So the final thing to say to you, in answer to your question about what's happening in 2019, I will tell you about my knitting and crochet YouTube plans in my podcast, which will go up later on in a couple of days' time. But as far as YouTube is concerned, now, are you ready? Last year, well no, this year, sorry, a few months ago, from January right through for about 6 or 7 months, I was uploading twice weekly. Towards the late summer, I decided to step back from it a little bit because I wanted to refocus my brain. I wanted to work out exactly what I wanted to put up here on this channel for you. And I also wanted to spend a bit more time with my family. Tom was going to senior school and I kind of took that quite hard in that my little baby boy didn't really need me anymore and I wanted to spend time with him. But I've had that time now. I've had a good think about what I want to do and what I want to put on this channel. And I have noticed that in the 6 to 7 months that I was uploading consistently, I was having a steady growth of audience numbers. I was making a teeny tiny amount from my advertising, and in the last 6 months it's been a much slower growth, and I haven't made a bean. So I know that I need to consistently be uploading videos to YouTube. I've learned that, but I've also learned what it is that you like, what you want to see and what you want to watch. So starting on the 7th of January, there will be 2 weekly segments. One of them is yarny, the other one is sewy or crafty. So hang on, one of them is yarny, the other one is sewing and crafty and studio related. What I'm also going to try and do is then upload a 3rd time a week, and that will be a something. So it could be a vlog, I could have gone somewhere and done something, it might be a likes video, it might be a tutorial, it will be a something. So you're going to have 2 regular features, one on a Monday, one on a Friday, and then a something at some point during the course of the week. I'm going to commit to that Monday and Friday. The something will hopefully happen, and sometimes you might even get 2 or 3 somethings, who knows, we might do a series of videos, but this YouTube channel is going to be a fun place. The videos that go up on a Monday and a Friday will be something different. There is a couple of people who already do similar videos, but they're not just going to be sitting talking at the camera to you about what I've been making and what I've been doing. You're going to find out what I've been making and what I've been doing, but in a slightly different way. So I don't want to spoil it for you. Tune in on the 7th of January when the first video will go up, and I am going to say Happy Christmas. Wish you all a fabulous time with your family. A very happy new year, and a big thank you to every single person that tunes into this channel, because without you watching what I do, my job would be non-existent. And if my job was non-existent, I don't know what I'd do really. I'd be out on my bum somewhere. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you again in the new year. There'll be a podcast going up at some point between Christmas and New Year, but in the meantime, give me a big thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.